बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी वयस्सिर ली अमरी वाहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बी ज़िदनी इल्मा। Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to AppSex online support program, and this is the lecture for second year physics. Today is the second lecture of chapter number 14, electromagnetic induction. And today's contents are Lenz's law, right hand rule, and induced EMF and its types. So this is the animated video of Lenz's law. As we have discussed first lecture of chapter number 14 about Faraday's law. So again I am revising it, that what is Faraday's law. In Faraday's law, we have discussed that if there is a changing magnetic flux, then the rate of change of magnetic flux is directly proportional to induced EMF. Now, what is induced EMF? As you can see in this figure, in this video, that there is a coil, and this coil is basically depending upon the flux linkage, because flux linkage is equal to n phi, where n is the number of turns of this coil and phi is the magnetic flux. Now this coil is linking to the galvanometer and without any external source of current. But as you can see that this bulb is glowing on and off. So if it glows on and off, it means there is some current that is flowing in that wire. Now why this current is flowing and from where this current is coming, it is because of the relative movement of this bar magnet, this permanent magnet, into the or towards the coil or away from the coil. If this permanent magnet has its own magnetic field, so when this magnetic field interacts with the coil, the electrons of this coil will start moving under the influence of this magnetic field, and because of this movement of electrons in this coil, there induces an EMF, a potential difference, and because of this potential difference there is an induced current. So this is basically the whole phenomena of Faraday's law. So now next thing is that you are seeing that when this bar magnet is moving towards the coil, the current deflection is showing towards the right side, whereas when it stop moving, instantly the current shows zero deflection in the galvanometer. Similarly, when this bar magnet is moving away from the coil, the deflection of current is showing on the negative side. So it means that there is some influence on the direction of current as well. Lenz's law. It is a convenient method for determining the direction of an induced EMF or current. So the definition of induced EMF will be: the induced current will flow in such a direction so as to oppose the cause that produces it. So basically we have to consider the figure first. Now this is the coil which is connected with galvanometer, and when the north side of this permanent magnet is moving towards this coil, you can see automatically there is a north pole on the left side of this coil, whereas the deflection of current is showing in the positive direction. So what these north faces will do, they repel each other, and in the result of this repulsion, the bar magnet will move away from the coil. On the other hand, if it is moving away from the coil, due to the reverse direction of current, which is because of this induced EMF or the cause which produces it, automatically because of the direction of this current that is reversing now, there is a south pole creating on the left side of this coil. So because of these opposite poles, the coil attracts the magnet. So eventually this process continues, that in the first figure the same poles will appear on the left side of the coil or on the adjacent side of the coil, and on the other hand when the magnet is moving away from that coil, then opposite poles will appear to attract. So basically this is Lenz's law, in which this induced current will flow in such a direction so as to oppose the cause that produces it. Now what is the cause here? The cause is that increasing flux. What is increasing flux? Like if I am moving this bar magnet towards this coil, as we know already that the number of magnetic lines of forces are stronger near the bar magnet. So maximum number of forces or magnetic forces are moving towards this coil. So there is the flux changing. So flux changing towards the increasing value. So that is why this same sizes or same poles or will appear on the coil, so to oppose the cause that produces it. So in the present case, the cause of this induced current is increasing magnetic flux. So induced current will set up magnetic flux that opposes the increase in flux through the coil. Now how can we understand that there is a north pole on that coil and a south pole on that coil? It is easily determined with the help of right hand rule, and I will tell you the right hand rule in the next slide. So Lenz's law and conservation of energy. Lenz's law is a consequence of law of conservation of energy. When north pole of magnet is approaching the coil, the induced current will flow in the coil in such a direction that left hand face of the coil becomes north pole. The result is that the motion of magnet is opposed. The mechanical energy spent in overcoming the opposition is converted into electrical energy. The opposition is converted into electrical energy, which appears in the coil. Thus, Lenz's law is consistent with the law of conservation of energy, that the energy remains conserved. Either there is a source of repulsion or attraction between the poles and the coil. Fleming's right hand rule. So you have already familiar with this right hand rule, whereas we have to stretch the fingers, the two fingers and the thumb perpendicular to each other. The first finger or the index finger will point in the direction of magnetic field. The second finger will point in the direction of current, and the thumb, it points in the direction of force or the direction that conducting wire moves. So basically it is direction of force. Induced EMF. By Faraday's law, whenever a conductor is placed in varying magnetic field, EMF is induced in the conductor, and this EMF is called induced EMF. Why I am saying it is induced EMF? Because there is no physical contact between these bar magnets and coil. So whenever there is no direct physical contact, the term which is used is known as induction. There are two types of induced EMF: dynamically induced EMF and statically induced EMF. Dynamically induced EMF. When a conductor is moved in a stationary magnetic field, so basically in the start of this chapter we have studied various tricks to produce this induced EMF. Either we can move the coil around a stationary magnet, or number two, we can move the magnet around a stationary coil. So basically these two are the kinds of induced EMFs. In the first dynamically induced EMF, there is a stationary magnetic field and the conductor is moving around that magnetic field in such a way that the flux linkage or linking it changes in the magnitude. Then the EMF is induced in this way is called dynamically induced EMF. So for dynamically induced EMF, the examples are like generator. So generator, there is a moving coil in the presence of a stationary magnetic field. Statically induced EMF. In statically induced EMF, there is a conductor that is stationary and magnetic field is moving or changing. Then induced EMF is known as statically induced EMF. So this is the behavior of transformer. This is a figure of dynamically induced EMF in which you can see that there is a permanent magnet and this is a coil. This is DC generator and this is alternator AC generator. So there is a huge difference between these two and we will discuss about these inshallah in the coming topics. So initially for the concept of dynamically induced EMF, you can see that this is the coil and it is continuously moving or varying its direction in the presence of this magnetic field. So this is the example of dynamically induced EMF. This is a figure of a transformer where these windings are representing the primary and secondary windings, and you can see that there is some magnetic flux that is linking in these coils. So there is an inside or input voltage supply and this is the output voltage supply of the secondary windings. So in this whole scenario, this conductor, they are statically or they are in stationary position, whereas this magnetic flux is changing due to the input supply. So in this case, the magnetic field is changing in the presence of a stationary conductor. So this is the example of statically induced EMF, and for this term mutually induced EMF, this will be discussed in the coming slides inshallah. Next topic is about self-induced EMF. The EMF induced in a coil due to change of its own magnetic flux is called self-induced EMF. What is this definition? That if we are changing the magnetic flux in one coil, the result of that changing magnetic field will be the induced current, and this induced current is because of that induced EMF. So this all situation will happen in the same coil, then this is known as self-induced EMF. Or the EMF induced in a coil due to change in current of the same coil is called self-induced EMF. When conductor is stationary and magnetic field is changing, then EMF induced in the conductor is called statically induced EMF. So in the case of self-induced EMF, we are using the concept of statically induced EMF. As you know that from the formula of Faraday's law, that induced EMF is equals to N delta phi upon delta t. So this is also using in the form of self-induced EMF, whereas the negative sign in this formula shows us about the Lenz's law. Now what is Lenz's law? Lenz's law tells us about the change that produces it, that it always opposes the change that it produces it, and the change of current and hence the magnetic field in the coil. So this is a change to which that induced current will oppose. Next thing is self-inductance. The phenomena in which a current is changing in a coil induces an EMF is called self-induction, and the property of the coil that opposes any change in the amount of current flowing through it is called self-inductance. So we have studied three different terminologies. Number one is self-induced EMF. So self-induced EMF means that where magnetic flux is changing and in the same coil there is a new current because of that induced EMF is known as self-induced EMF. Next thing is the phenomena in which changing current in a coil induces an EMF is called self-induction. And number three, self-inductance, it is basically the property of that coil in which there is the opposition of new current that is flowing in that same conductor. So how can we get that changing current or changing flux in a same coil? If steady current is flowing in any circuit, there will be no inductance. Why there is no self-inductance? Because there is no magnetic flux that is changing because of the same current that is flowing or the steady current. When alternating current is flowing in the same circuit, then there is self-inductance because alternating current has different polarities. It is starting from 0, then it increases to 90, then again 0, then on the next cycle their magnitudes are same but their direction is different. So in alternating currents, there is self-induction in that coil. Now as you can see in this figure, there is a switch, a battery, a rheostat means variable resistor is given that is connected with the coil, and this coil has many turns. So this many turns will help us to increase its flux linkage, where flux linkage is N phi. So the number of loop will increase the magnetic flux. So overall the flux linkage will change. So when this switch is closed, there is the current that is flowing in that circuit. So whenever there is current that is flowing in any circuit, in any loop, there is magnetic field around that circuit. So whenever there is magnetic field, there is changing magnetic flux because of this direction of current, that in one loop the direction of current is clockwise, in other loop the direction of current is opposite to that. So because of that direction of currents, the direction of current magnetic flux will be changing. So because of that magnetic flux, there is an induced EMF in that coil. Let phi be the flux passing through one loop of the coil, then the total number of flux is N phi. Since the magnetic flux is proportional to magnetic field and magnetic field is proportional to current, so this N phi is directly proportional to I. Means the the amount of current that is flowing in that circuit is directly proportional to the number of flux linkage. So by removing this directly proportional sign, there is a symbol that is capital L. Now this L is known as self-inductance. It is basically the constant of proportionality according to self-inductance. So now according to Faraday's law, this sigma is equals to minus n delta phi upon delta t. Now I am mentioning this negative sign over here because of Lenz's law, because of that opposite direction of current. So just by arranging it, taking this delta, the change outside and n phi inside to make it a one factor of flux linkage. This is our equation number 2. Now putting the value of n phi from equation number 1, this is equal to Li. Now rearranging this L, and this is delta I upon delta T. Now this is basically the equation that shows us the induced EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of current in the coil, and the negative sign shows that this self-induced EMF must oppose the change that produces it. Now, what is producing that EMF, that self-induced EMF? The change of current. So what will be the we can also calculate the value of L, the self-inductance, from this formula by rearranging it, that this L is equals to uh, EL divided by delta I upon delta T, okay, with negative sign. Next thing is the definition of this self-inductance, that this self-inductance is defined as the ratio of induced EMF in a coil to rate of change of current in the same coil, that I have told you from this rearranging of equation. Next thing is about the SI unit of self-induction or self-inductance, L. So self-inductance has a unit of volt for that EMF divided by its delta I upon delta T. So it is basically ampere per second. But by rearranging, this will be equal to volt second per ampere, and this is equal to Henry by the name of scientist. So the definition of Henry is the self-inductance of a coil is said to be 1 Henry if current changes at the rate of 1 ampere per second through it produces an induced EMF of 1 volt in the same coil. Next thing is about the back EMF. Now what is this back EMF? As I have told you about this negative sign, so whenever there is self-inductance, there is a back EMF. This negative sign shows us that the self-induced EMF opposes the change which produces it. That is why self-induced EMF is also known as back EMF. Now, how can we understand about this back EMF? That in simple words, you can say that when in a single coil, when current is changing, and because of that current changing, there is a magnetic flux. So because of that magnetic flux, we have already studied that whenever there is magnetic field, there is a current that is flowing in that coil or conductor because of the changing magnetic field. So because of the changing magnetic field, there is a current, but it has to stay in that same coil, so that current will flow in the opposite direction, because that current is basically because of that Lenz's law. So negative sign is because of the direction that is opposite to the original current, but it also all happens in the same coil for self-induction. So L is a constant called the conductance or the inductance. The minus sign indicates that there is changing current. In the opposition to that change, there is an induced EMF. So an expression for inductance can be found by equating Faraday's law with the above. So when I am comparing the Faraday's law with this equation of self-inductance, where Faraday's law is EMF is equals to minus n delta phi upon delta t. So all the other things will cancel out like delta t, and we are left with L is equals to n delta phi upon delta I, and by removing this change, this deltas, we can write is n phi upon I. So this is the expression for capital L. Factors affecting this inductance of that inductor. So basically the capability of producing magnetic lines is referred as inductance. It is the ability of that material. Standard unit of inductance is Henry. The amount of magnetic flux developed or inductance of different type of inductors depend on 4 basic factors that we have already seen these factors in their formulas. So number of turns in that coil. Next thing is material of the core. Next thing is the cross-sectional area of the coil. And so by increasing the number of turns of coil, we are increasing its inductance. And similarly, by substituting an iron core, we can increase its inductance. And number 4 factor is the length of that coil. So by uh, depending upon these 4 factors, the inductance can be increased and decreased as well. So this is all for today, a very small and brief lecture. Thank you so much, Allah Hafiz.